Hey everybody, welcome to episode 35 of the Fiberista Files. Today is Sunday, May 22nd. I'm Heather, if you haven't been here before. If you have, you probably know that by now, also known as the Fiberista. Yeah, I'm a dork, I have a t-shirt. Whatever. Alright. I meant to podcast last week, and I meant to show everybody what I had dyed up for Acadia Fiber Faire, and make everybody, jealous with the wanting, and then I literally just ran out of time. I was weighing and labeling spindles at 9:30 Friday night because I hadn't had time to do it yet, and the show, we left at 4 a.m. We got up at 4 a.m. We left at 5 minutes of 5 in the morning on Saturday. So I, like always, totally went to the very last minute. With my stuff. So I didn't have time to podcast. Podcasting doesn't just take the number of minutes that you see on the episode, but is hours of editing and compressing and uploading, and I just didn't have time. I'm sorry about the nasally sound. I just had a huge sneezing fit. I just mowed my entire lawn and my allergies are going a little bit crazy. So I hope you're ready for a really long episode because this is going to be a long one. I'm going to move quick. Let's get started. Alright, so before I started showing off the dye pots and the processes and all that other stuff, I thought I would maybe share with you what I've been knitting. I never share my knitting because I never make any progress on anything. I never finish anything. I never really start new projects. I kind of have the same, 3 epic projects going all the time. Girasole, Even Star, and the plain socks that I'm knitting for my husband have all been on the needles for well over a year. Girasole's been on the needles, Girasole has been on the needles for over 2 years. Still not done. So, anyways, I have made some progress. Lately, there have been some knit-alongs going on, and I've sort of committed myself to a couple of different things. So, it's forced me to get my needles back up, and I've been doing some knitting. So, I want to show you first the Girasole. This is the epic blanket that is Girasole. As you can see, it is quite large. Gargantuan is probably a better way to put it. There goes my yarn. I am knitting this out of mystery wool from my daddy. I'm using both the ecru and the dark brown for the edging because I don't have enough of either of those to do all of the edging itself. So it starts out, it's actually a beautiful finished object, or it will be when it's done. It starts out with the center sunflowery section, and then you can see, I'm going to go opposite. It has these leaves and then some diagonal stripiness. And then it has, I have to keep changing molds because I keep running out of stuff. So then it has these wonderful points here. Let's see if I can get that to reflect in the sun. Yeah, it's all pretty and pretty. And then I picked it up. It had been hibernating for over a year, and I picked it up right at about this point, this first center point. I did those 3 repeats. And I'm on the edging now. Now, if I'm incredibly lucky, my little needle points have stuck because this thing, it's going fine. It's really difficult to maneuver this around to knit it, but I have started the edging. Each point is made up of 6 rows. Here's where I started. And so you can kind of see, the first 2 I kind of messed up because it says to yarn over twice, and then the next row you knit the yarn over, but it doesn't say to drop one of the yarn overs off the needle to make a big hole. I had to figure that out myself because the holes should look like that, and the first 2 times they're just teeny tiny little holes. So it turns out you have to drop one of those yarn overs off of the needle in order to make a great big hole. So I did these points here. It took me about 2 hours to get this much. I think I counted and there was 34 points. This thing has 213 stupid points. 0.3. I don't even know how I'm going to get a 0.3. But according to the math, 640 stitches, 6 rows, that's 213.3 points. Mathematically, that's going to take me about 20 hours. Realistically, it's going to take me about a lifetime. But I am on the finished bit. According to my calculations, this has got almost 18 feet of knitting in circumference. That's not diameter, that's all the way around the edging. that's big. I did not do the math to figure out what the diameter will be. I probably could have done that if I could remember, you know, geometry, and I can remember how you can use circumference to get diameter, but I can't remember how to do that. Maybe somebody will email it to me. But it's going to be freaking huge. I do not know how I'm going to block it. I'm going to have to block it outside because I have nothing inside, no space big enough to do it. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys in tune. I'm going to try to get this done before Thursday, and I'll explain why in a minute. But it's going. It's almost done. I cast that on in March of 09, I think, so it's been a long time. I'm also knitting in my box bag from Katie on the Knitting on the Fly, Katie. I am knitting my second Vie de Bois sock. This is my pattern. I wrote this pattern. I only knit one sock for this pattern. And then I wrote it up and sent it out to my test knitters, and they checked it, and it was a good pattern, so I went with it. So I have one sock and a toe. This is a really fast pattern for me. I love how quickly it grows because you've got a 6-row repeat. Each 2 sets of diamonds, that's 1 repeat, and the repeats go really fast. So you can see I'm 2 repeats in. I'd have to do the math because I don't remember how many repeats I did on the foot before the gusset, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 repeats before I started the gusset on the original sock. So it's silly that I'm the designer and I don't have a finished pair of these. So those are getting knit on. Those are basically car knitting for when I'm in the car and I don't have to drive. Because I only have to glance at the pattern to remember which way stuff goes, because I can't ever completely remember, but I'm familiar enough with the pattern to know when I've got to, you know, knit 1, knit 2 together, that sort of thing. I just can't remember row by row. So it's really weird knitting from your own pattern because you keep going, wow, that's really clever, and then realizing that I think that's clever because I did it. Stupid. Anyway, so, and that brings me to the reason that girasole needs to be done on Thursday. By Thursday, because I am a sheep, and I cast on the Wendy Knits Summer Shawlette Wendy Knits Summer Mystery Shawlette. I think that's what she calls it. I have just begun Clue 2, or Chart B, that's what she's calling it, and I don't know how well my camera shows you, but it's beautiful. This is being knit out of Highland Handmades Sugar Maple Sock Yarn in the greener side colorway. It's just a whole bunch of variegated greens. This had one of those unfortunate red spot dye issues, so I didn't sell it because there's a couple of tiny pops of red, and I didn't sell it, so it got all tangled up, and I just threw it in a corner and forgot all about it. And then when I was looking for something to cast on, I saw that, and it had been untangled by that time, and I said, what the heck, why not? You almost can't see the red. I picked this one out specifically so that you could see it when you knit. But generally speaking, you really don't see the red. The red doesn't bother me anyway, because I know it's a design element because of the way the dye physically works. Stop. Get untangled. Jeez Louise. I am about 4 rows in Chart B. I will hopefully have this done tonight. This goes so fast. It's just like zip, zip, zip. You cast on, it's a triangular shawlette, and you cast on the triangle, the bottom part, and then each row gets shorter as it goes in. Fantastic idea, because now that my motivation wanes when a project gets really big, so clearly. So I'm excited for that. On Thursday, the next clue comes out, and there's 72 rows in the next clue. The first 2 clues only had 12 rows. The next one has 72 rows. I don't want to get behind, so this monstrosity needs to be done before that happens. So, that's what I've been knitting. It's been fantastic. That's all I've been knitting. Hopefully I'll be able to show you that girasole finished next week. Wouldn't that be amazing? I would be so amazed by that. As soon as girasole is done and I've done my 72 rows on the Wendy Knits Mystery Shawlette, I'm going to pick back up the Even Star shawl by Susan Pandorf. I'm on Chart 5, I think, of that. I haven't picked it up in like a year. Dramatic Knits and Mommy Needs Yarn are doing a knit along, and I'm going to join that knit along. I'm going to put a thread in my Ravelry group, Highland Handmades Ravelry group, and knit along with them as I go. It's not being knit out of my yarn. It's being knit out of Knit Picks Shadow Lace. I have no idea. I haven't looked at even the ball band in a year. The colorway is Midnight Heather. It's a very dark shawl, but it's beautiful. So I'm going to pick that back up, and hopefully that will get me motivated to finish, because again, it got big enough that the rows were taking me half an hour, and I was like, this can go in timeout for a while, and it did. So that's what I've been doing. This episode is not having show notes, so it's been a good time. Oh, you know what has been in the dye pots? I don't know if you noticed, but I totally dyed my hair with some henna this last weekend. All of my grays are gone. They are bright, shiny copper penny. You see this light section right here? That was all gray before. Oh, it's so pretty. $10, hennaforhair.com. Can't beat it. So that's been in the dye pots. Now, I did tell you last time I podcasted that I was going to show you everything that I had dyed up for the Acadia Fiber Faire. That turns out a lie, because I'm not going to show you everything. There's just too much, honestly, and I'm not going to show you something and then sell out of it and then have everybody be like, oh, I really wanted that. That would make me sad, and I'm sure it would make you sad, so I'm not going to do that. However, now that Fiber Faire is over, I'm busy dyeing for Fiber Frolic, which is huge. Compared to Fiber Faire, is a much bigger show. It's a 2-day event. They've got over almost 100 vendors. It's a big deal. So what I'm going to have in tomorrow's update is everything that I had at Fiber Faire that only has one left. All of my one-offs, I've only got one of them, is going up for sale in the shop. Many of these you've seen before. They were things that were in my Etsy shop or in my Big Cartel shop, or I've dyed them before. But these are the ones that I have that are going up on the site. And you can buy these. I hope you do. And then after everything that I have 2 or more of is staying in the totes for Fiber Frolic. Now, when Fiber Frolic is done, I don't have another show for 6 or 7 weeks. Everything I haven't sold is going in the shop, because I need to get rid of it, because I need to order more stuff for more shows, for so on and so forth. There will be some spindles. I've got a bunch of lightweight spindles. Because my big ones have been so popular, they've been selling almost as soon as I get them finished. But I have a bunch of lightweights. Some of them are only 7/8 of an ounce. If you have a big one and you're ready to move on to some thinner fiber, it's time for you to get a new spindle. And there's going to be some of those. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. I bought Polworth. I dyed at 5 pounds of Polworth and sold 1 braid at Fiber Faire. 1 braid. So the rest of them are all still upstairs. If I don't sell those at Fiber Frolic, you guys are gonna be thanking me and thanking everybody that didn't buy it, because the stuff is freaking gorgeous. My online community understands the glory of Polworth. The people at Fiber Faire were like, "What is this? What?" Yeah, they had no idea. So, in tomorrow's update will be the following. And I have a tray here so that I can put everything down without getting all dirty. This is Sugar Maple Sock Yarn. I'll start with the sock yarn. This is Holiday, bright blue and orange. Is there a sports team that has this colors? Is there a Florida sports team that has this bright blue and orange? Hard to say. Holiday. Summit, navy blue, golden yellow, and there's some silvery gray in there as well. Good masculine colors. Terracotta Pot. I have one of those. Pumpkin-y, terracotta-y sort of orange, brown, and the brown kind of looks like a burgundy brown. It mixed in with that dark orange color, so it's pretty dark as well. Plum Crumble. If you missed it the first time, here's your chance to get it. I sold 2 of these at the Fiber Faire, so this one is going for you. It starts out with a wine color, goes a little bit lighter here, and then is this peachy color, and then ends with this very pale cream. So, Plum Crumble. Now, that is all the sock yarn. 4 skeins. And they're all variegated. Okay. Now, worsted. I have worsted, I don't know if you know, 245 yards. This is a single. The door is going to open. Ignore it. This is the Telltale Heart. You can see that this is a singles yarn. It has just 1 ply. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's kind of a heavy worsted. It would be awesome for a longer hat, like a slouchy hat or something like that, I think. Telltale Heart is scarlet and tangerine. Of course, my screen's going to make it look blue. That's a little bit better. That's more realistic. Telltale Heart. Out of Africa, Happy Yellows of all varieties. Cream to Buttercup. Paradise Lost, yellow and green. The green did not turn out quite like I wanted. It's a very subtle green. It's a very translucent, bluey kind of green. The Great Gatsby, deep green with lighter bits, semi-solid. And I've got two actually. Animal Farm, which is a dark, dark, dark brown. It's got a couple of ashy bits in it, like right here you can see there's a little bit of an ashier color where it was, where it's a semi-solid, but it is a really dark brown. I think that these go great together. Maybe it's just me. And the last one I have is the Scarlet Letter, which is like bright red. Also semi-solid. It's actually a tonal. It's dyed scarlet red and turkey red, but it looks semi-solid to me. So, Scarlet Letter. Now, no bulky, no lace going in this update. I sold a pair of skeins of lace, the goldenrod, the bright yellow, and no one-offs of any of the other ones. And I didn't sell a single skein of bulky weight yarn. Not one. Not even Oxford, which is a colorway that has been very popular online. Don't know if people just aren't thinking bulky projects this time of year, or I don't know. Didn't sell any bulky, so I still have pairs of those. Now, I do have some silk going in this update. Peacock was on the site before. Pretty blues and greens. 2 ounces. All of these are 2 ounces. Iadha, if that's how you say it. This is the one that was that maroon, mulberry kind of red, that dark brick red, that breaks into that hot, hot coral and the deeper purple. This is not, it's supposed to be dark red, and it's clearly pink and purple. I have 3 of these. These didn't sell, but I only have just a very little silk, and I didn't order any more, so I'm not taking silk with me to Frolic. So these are for you. 3 of those. I have 1 braid of Beeth, which is the violet, purple, black, bluish, silvery, really dark one. Let's see if I can get that to show up for you. There we go. Beeth. This is gorgeous. I love this one. Alright, and then I have a single braid of the Superwash Merino Tencel. That sold pretty well, especially given that it was in bags because people really couldn't touch it. But I had a sample of this in Peacock. And the Peacock sold out. And I sold, I don't know if I sold out of another color or not. I only have 1 Poetic left. Poetic is, it's actually the same colors as in Beeth, only they don't bleed together as well. It's a bright purple. Here, and a charcoal gray and a black, and they all bleed together. There's a little bit of ice blue sections in there. It will be photographed before it goes up in the shop update, so you'll get a chance to see it better then. Now, moving on, I have some Superwash BFL. Life's Lemons you saw was in the last update. I have 1 braid left that's going in the update. Loki's Whim is a new colorway. I have this in a bunch of fibers, including Superwash Merino Tencel, but I have 3 of those that did not sell, so they're going with me to Frolic. This is bright green. It's a lime green, a dark green, and a medium green. So you can see here, there's the lime, there's the medium, and there's the dark. I freaking love this colorway. I don't know why Loki always makes me think of green, but totally does. Loki's Whim. Aegir is basically the same thing, but in blues. Aegir is the Norse god of the sea, and I have a light blue here. I have a medium blue here, and then I have a deep twilight blue here. So it's got all kinds of blues. I have 1 braid of this, so that 1 braid is also going in the update. Then I have 1 braid A Falkland. That's the wait a minute that you've seen before. One little lonely braid. He's so soft and smushy. Look at look at that. Isn't that funny? Oh, I just love this stuff. One braid of superwash merino. I didn't even tell you guys that I was doing superwash merino, and I wasn't going to bring it with me to Fiber Faire, but I decided I might as well take everything I have and try and sell it as much as I can. So this is Dionysus or Dionysus, depending on how you pronounce it. This is purple, dark green, deep, deep, deep red, like a plum almost. It's like a plummy purple. And it fades into some lighter blues. And there are some undyed areas throughout. Superwash merino. Oh my freaking god. There is nothing softer than this stuff. It won't felt because it's superwash. So it's good. You can spin it for socks. It's a shorter stapled fiber, so you can spin it pretty thin. It's not a fiber I recommend for beginners because it is so short, and without its scales, because it's superwash, it's a little bit slippery. I don't know if I can show you. I mean, it's not a long stapled fiber at all, but so smushy. So that's Dionysus. That's how I say it. Superwash merino. And then I have two braids of Wensleydale that were in the old Etsy shop. I have tourmaline and the other U. Those are both available for purchase. Wensleydale is a very interesting fiber. It's an outerwear garment sort of fiber. Wensleydale is the only fiber where the diameter is the same at the root as at the tip. Most fiber starts out thicker at the base and gets finer at the tip. Wensleydale is uniform throughout the length of the fiber. Really interesting. Fun fact for you. It's not next to Skin Soft. It has a halo to it. I don't know, you probably can't see the halo. There we go. Get out of my way, my hair. See all this? That's all halo. Those fibers don't lay perfectly well. If you spin worsted and you like the halo, not worsted, woolen, and you like the halo, go for it. This stuff is amazing. So that's everything that's going in the update. I hope it's, something for you guys to get you through if you're not going to be at Frolic. I hope you do come to Frolic, and I hope you say hi, and I hope you say, hey, we know you from the podcast. You're that chick. I hope you do. I hope somebody snaps up plum crumbles that needs to go home. I'm going to dye that one up again, I think. So, that's what's been in the dye pots. What's next? Processes and business growth. Processes, how I do what I do. I just do it. I just keep going until I drop from exhaustion every day. I don't have anything for you in processes. Recap of Fiber Faire. My husband and I got up at 4 a.m. We were out the door before 5 a.m. Drove, it's about 2.5 hours to Southwest Harbor. We were in a school. I don't know if it was a high school or an elementary school. We were in a gymnasium. The gymnasium was actually really nice and very bright. A lot of gyms that craft fairs and stuff are in are really poorly lit. This one had a whole row of like skylights around it, and they had really good lighting. It was very clear. All the floor spaces were easily marked out. Everybody had a 10 by 10 space. It was clear. There was no confusion. They had strapping young lads to carry the heavy stuff. It was really nice. The coordinator was awesome. It was just great. It was all just great. So we got there, we set up, we weren't really sure, like we had set up the racks in our living room to see how we wanted to set it up. And then, as it always happens, we made some last minute changes to the way that we decided to do things. We will probably make more changes for Frolic because it depends what we've got, what the place looks like. There's just a lot of things that you need to think about. So we got the grid walls all set up. I had time to like go to the bathroom and then people started coming in. It was really good. It started out a little slow. People were kind of trickling in. Today's the first day there has been actual sunshine in like 9 or 10 days. We have not seen the sun. It has rained every day for almost 2 weeks. Everybody in Maine right now is mowing their lawn because it's the only chance they've had all spring to do it. So I think that kept a few people home, but we heard a lot of people say that this was bigger than the last year, which was their first year, so it keeps Oh, there's the door. It keeps growing, so it was good. We had a good time. We saw a lot of the same people. People that we'd seen last year, people that we had seen at different events, Fiber Mania, Fiber College, people who had said that they'd seen us at the Frolic. A couple of people who said, hey, I bought a spindle from you last year. Check it out. And one woman, I'm going to post the picture, she had her spindle chock full of fiber, of singles. It was ridiculous. It was awesome, though. She bought her spindle and she was clearly still spinning. We love to see that. So I took a picture. I did get to see Katie from Knitting on the Fly podcast. She stopped by in her finished February lady sweater, which looked awesome. Had buttons and everything. Had been all blocked. It looked great. I met her honey. He's so funny because we talk so much, Katie and I, and Plurk and everything else, and Katie tells stories to her honey like I tell stories about Katie to my husband. And it's all like we know each other. So he showed up and I gave Katie a hug and he gave me a big old hug. First time I've ever seen him in my life. He's like, hey, how's it going? It was good. It was really great to see Katie. We firmed up plans. We're going to joint podcast at Frolic. She got to tell me a little bit more about Maryland Sheep and Wool that she went to, which was crazy. And yeah, it was a really good time. We got to see Tina Knitterfrink on Plurk. That was good. She had her son with her. So we got to... Tina fell down. Tina always falls down in my booth. It's great. It was a good time. It was a really good time. We were exhausted. And it was funny because I didn't feel very tired the whole day. I'm out there. I spin on the drop spindle all the time. A, to keep my hands busy, and B, to show what the spindles can do, because it's pretty awesome to see them in action. And where was I going? Oh, we got everything all packed up. 3:30 hits, and it's like a ghost town. Every vendor has broken their stuff down, and they're all got their cars packed, and they're ready to go. And like, it seems like a minute and a half. It's crazy. We got everything packed up, everything in the truck. We weren't out of Southwest Harbor, and I was passed out. I was so asleep so fast. I was exhausted, really, really tired. But I mean, it was good. It was great. I mean, you're always tired after a show, but we definitely stopped and got coffee before we finished our drive home because it was a long drive home. We left everything in the truck that night and then brought it all in this morning. And I've cleaned my craft room. I've put everything back upstairs. I've gotten, things ready. I'm ready to get ready for the next show. So it's good. Yeah, I slept 10 or 11 hours straight last night. Didn't wake up. I was out cold. So tired. So that was the Acadia Fiber Faire. If you saw me and you said hi, let us know. Stop by the Highland Handmades group. I'm really bad with names, so I have a hard time connecting people that I know face to face with people that are on Ravelry or Plurk or whatever. I have a hard time with that. So, yeah, stop by and say hi. Now, for Grabby Hands this week, I know that there are a lot of bag makers out there. Oop, there goes my light, just randomly turned off. Weird. There are a lot of great bag makers out there, and there are a lot of bag makers that I want to buy from. 3 Bags Full is a lady in Maine, and I really want to get some bags from her, but I never buy anything. I don't buy yarn. I don't buy fiber. I don't buy anything. I just don't. I don't spend money on yarn and fiber for myself. I spend money on buying undyed yarn and fiber and selling it. And I think I've kept one thing out of the year and a half I've been in, 2 years. Year and a half, year and 3/4 that I've been in business. I just don't buy stuff for myself. I used to do the CJ Kopech spin along every month, and that was the only thing I did. I bought one thing of fiber every month, and that was it. And now she doesn't do that anymore. She's moved on. I don't even buy that anymore. It's ridiculous. Occasionally I will treat myself at a show, but I didn't even buy anything at this show because Fiber Nymph had a shop update last week on Friday. Fiber Nymph is somebody who I really enjoy, Lisa, and she does the 90% Knitting podcast, which I also really enjoy. And she has bought from me, and I always like when people, if sellers especially buy from me, I like to return the favor. And so she was like, oh, shop update's live. Now, Friday was kind of a rough start for me. I had taken Friday off. I had to go to my doctor's appointment for my stupid medication that I don't want to take, and I was kind of bummed. And so my breakfast that day was this. I had Reese's Pieces for breakfast that day. This is the second bag. I did manage to keep myself to only one bag. But I had Reese's Pieces for breakfast. seems unrelated, but when I clicked over on Lisa's shop update, Fiber Nymph's shop update, she had Reese's Pieces colored self-striping sock yarn. What? I was like, I couldn't help myself. I had to buy it right then. It was fate that I'd had Reese's Pieces for breakfast, that I'd had a crappy day. It was self-striping sock yarn, which I have wanted to purchase for a while. I want a nice pair of self-striping socks. How happy are Reese's Pieces socks going to be? How happy? Oh, so happy. You know that. Oh, totally couldn't help myself. So I bought sock yarn. I never buy sock yarn. So I can't wait to have it, and I'll show it to you. The other thing I bought, actually, what month is this? May? I bought it in April. I went to a friend. She had a bag party. I went because I wanted to get drunk and hang out with my friends, which we did. But we started out with a bag party. That was like our excuse to get together. And it was a bag party. It's called 31. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of 31, but they've got a lot of like monogram stuff. They have coolers and lunch bags, these huge bags, little bags. They have a lot of money. And again, I don't ever spend money on myself. So I bought the cheapest thing they had, which was this. It's a little bag. It's just black and white and gray. And it is lined. It has interfacing in it. So it's a pretty firm bag. It's just a striped interior. It doesn't have any pockets. And I'm using this as my new notions bag. I have all kinds of stuff in here. I have all my little, stitch holders. I get big ones for sweaters and little ones for thumbs. I have stitch counters in there. You don't need to see all my notions, but it all fits in there, and it lays pretty flat. Now the seams on this, I don't know if you can see that there's a T-shaped seam. So if there's a lot of stuff in it, it will stand up. I don't have all of my notions in here yet, so it won't quite stand up, but it will eventually stand up. And it's got a good zipper on it, and it zips. It has a little D-ring. I don't know what I'm going to do with the D-ring, but it does. So I have not seen a bag like this on any of the individual indie bag makers sites. If there's a bag this size, let me know, because this is the perfect size for notions for me. Keeps everything in there. I don't have to worry about it. It's small enough that I can find what I need, but big enough to hold some stuff. So that's what I've been doing lately. That's grabby hands, processing. That's everything. Man, I bet this is a long episode. So I'm going to say, oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. I've mentioned on the podcast before that I am really cheap. Now, many of you know, you should know by now if you've seen any of the last updates, that I've moved off of Etsy and I'm now doing the big cartel shop. Shop.highlandhandmades.com. Great. Only, it's the show season, and I always have business cards, I have my banner, I have all that stuff out in the booth during the show. Great. Only, I realized several days before the show that my business cards, I don't know if you can see this, highlandhandmades.etsy.com. And I even sprung for the upgraded get stuff on the back. And here it says, highlandhandmades.etsy.com. I have 250 of these business cards, and they're all wrong. I'm not updating the Etsy shop anymore. The Etsy shop is going away. Bye-bye, Etsy shop. But all of my stuff is going to make people go there. So, in a fit of insanity, I decided that the cheap thing to do would be to print new addresses on sticker paper, cut them out individually, and re-sticker my business cards. That's what I did. I don't know if you can see. I even matched the color of this ink. This is like a maroon. And it says shop.highlandhandmades.com. And that's a sticker. You can see if I tip it that I stuck that on there. And then on the back, I didn't do such a good job with this one. But I did the same thing. So I moved, I covered over the old web address with the new shop address. I didn't do it with all 250 because I didn't have time, but I bet I did it with 75 or so, and I've got the rest of them to do in the next 2 weeks for Fiber Frolic, because I'm not buying new business cards because I'm too cheap. It's a waste, really. The rest of the card's fine, so I'm going with stickers. So that's really all I have this week. Yep, that's really all I have this week. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm Boutros Babe, BOUTROSBABE on Ravelry and Plurk. People have been adding Highland Handmades. Don't add Highland Handmades on Plurk. That's a placeholder account. On Ravelry. Don't. There's my husband with a four-wheeler. Seriously? Don't add Highland Handmades, don't message Highland Handmades because I don't check it. I only check it maybe once a month because it just holds the yarn side, the yarn company. I'm Boutros Babe on Ravelry and Plurk. I am Fiberista Files on Twitter. Twitter and Plurk, it's the same thing. They just update each other. There's a Highland Handmade group on Highland Handmades group on Facebook. Go ahead and like that if you want. I'm around. Seriously. I shouldn't complain. He went with me and helped me all day yesterday. I'm not going to complain. Anyways, it's time for me to say goodbye, guys. So until next week, happy spinning and knitting. Thanks for tuning in.